What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed the replays. So I'm gonna just run through the deck and tell you why I play the cards I do and why I play balance. I love balance because I just get to open up with at least a monster or two and at least one spell and one trap. It really works well with this deck and it helps you set up for the next turn. It's kind of I guess a slower deck, but it does help you set up. Usually turn 2, you're ready to go. You have counters on the field. I play 1 Overlord. I was playing 2, but I moved it back down to 1 so I could play balance. But if I could, I would play 2 just because sometimes you do have to pitch 1 to the graveyard to, with the combination device, you have to pitch an Overlord to the graveyard just to get some more counters on a certain monster. But you can just remove 2 counters from anywhere on the field, special summon this card, and then his effect is once per turn, you can place 1 counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls. They all have the effect that when they battle, your opponent's monster loses 300 attack and defense for each A counter they have on the field, on each monster. So let's say a monster has 3 counters on it, it loses 900 attack and defense during the battle phase, and it's amazing. Like, I don't have to play beat down or a tie that binds, I guess, because you usually have the damage on the field. You usually have what it takes to beat over a monster. I play 1 Telepath because once per turn, you can remove a counter from an opponent's monster to destroy a spell or trap on the field that can be set or face up. So it really works well with Ancient Gears as well with the 6 Samurais. And as you can tell during the replays, the Warrior really comes in handy because you can just crash. And sometimes if you open up with Warrior, you can just set it in defense and then they'll attack into it, and then his effect goes off anyways. So you could just crash him into any monster and then put 2 counters on that monster, and then you could just take that monster with the Brainwashing Beam. But we'll get to that in just a second. I play 3 Alien Kid because nowadays everybody special summons and there's always a lot of special summoning. So anytime your opponent special summons a monster, it automatically gets a counter on it. And then of course it has the second effect where it loses, the opponent's monster loses 300 attack and defense for each counter on it during damage calculation only. So I play 3 because it's just a staple. You have to, because everybody special summons, and if let's say you got 2 Alien Kids on the field, and your opponent special summons 2 monsters, and so instead of just 1 A counter on each monster, it would be 2 because they would both go off. So it can kind of stack, and it's really nice. I play 1 Mysterious Triangle. I do have 2 of these. I would really like to play 2, but it's not necessarily important because 1 is enough. It can kind of create that play. So let's say you can't beat over a monster anyways, you can destroy that monster if it has a counter on it, and then you could special summon a level 4 alien from your deck. So it would be destroyed during the end phase, the one that you get to special summon, but usually when you play this card, you're setting up for game, so you destroyed like the 1 monster that they do control, and then you could special summon, and then you kind of flood the field and just swing for game. Usually that's what I use it for. I run the 2 econs because this deck really focuses on monster removal, so tributing your monster to take control of theirs. That's kind of the main point, to not let them have any monsters on the field, just keep them off the field. So econ's really important. It is at 2, which is fine. I do play 3 recombination devices. This is absolutely necessary in this deck. I love it because it has 2 effects. It's got 1 for the quick play, and then it's got a graveyard effect. You can target a face-up monster on the field, send an alien monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, place A counters on that monster equal to the level of the monster sent. So let's say they have a Dark Lord Ixchel on the field. You can activate this in the battle phase as well, and then send Alien Kid to the graveyard. And then they have 4 A counters on that Dark Lord Ixchel. So, and then let's say they try to swing with the Dark Lord Ixchel, and then you have a Brainwashing Beam set. You can also activate this during the battle phase and just take control of that monster. So it's super good. You have to play this because it's amazing. And then the graveyard effect is not during the same turn, but let's say the turn after you activate this as a quick spell. You can activate it from the grave to banish it and then add a alien to your hand. I played 3 powerful rebirths because you want to get your monsters back on the field. This way you can tribute them, or it's just important to get monsters back on the field so you can, like I said, use the second effect of econ, or to sacrifice it to get some A counters on your opponent's monsters. So 3 powerful rebirths is probably a must. There's definitely some builds you don't have to play this, but I really like it, and it synergizes well with this build. And then onto the three brainwashing beams. So if an opponent's monster has at least 1 A counter on it, you can activate this anytime really, and then just take control of that monster. So as long as that monster has an A counter on it, you control that monster. But during each end phase, 1 counter is taken off the monster that you take control of. So, but it doesn't matter because you can activate it. Let's say I take somebody's Blue Eyes White Dragon with Brainwashing Beam because it had 1 counter on it. I can activate Recombination Device on that Blue Eyes that I control now, and then I could put 4 more counters on it, so I will control it for 4 more turns. It's broken. So you can just take your opponent's monsters, and it's really not hard to get counters on the field at all with this deck. This is totally, in my opinion, it works really well in this meta. It's kind of an anti-meta, but aliens, I'm really digging it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, just leave them in the comments, guys. Thank you so much.